And welcome to another episode of Hard Factor presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Tuesday, April 14th, 2020. And before we get going, one quick update. The John McAfee interview is out now on audio and video. It was a separate release from the podcast, so just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that. You're definitely going to want to watch the visual if you can.
Yeah, it's out there.
Mm-hmm. Visual's long. It's the whole thing, but there's it's chock full of crazy.
I thought it was going to end with us cutting our dicks off.
Yeah. Now that it's out, I can say with great confidence, you don't ask a man about eating women's shit from a hammock in Belize unless you know him. That's
No.
Did you guys like that Scat Man song at the end?
I did. Yes.
and also definitely not in front of his wife. I think that was his major bone.
That was his out, Will. That's what that was.
Well,
Because he made it something different than it was.
She didn't even hear the correct question. He repeated something, and then she thought she knew what he was talking about. If she knew exactly what we were talking about, interview over.
Well, but thereby he implied that he does that behavior with his current wife, which I was not.
But he was a good sport. And
it was awesome. Yeah, thank you for both McAfees for coming on the show.
Good interview.
I was glad. I was scheduled to ask that question, and as Pat was getting his ass reamed, I was like, "Geez, thank God he jumped in on that one."
Well, we all got a little high, so things got a little bit.
Yeah, well, we all did. So was he. Also, we're going to start cutting down the boat race video now that we've got some free time during the day after getting McAfee out. And shout out Coors Light for answering the call of Olive Veronesi in Seminole, Pennsylvania from yesterday. She got those beers that she was looking for over the weekend. Coors Light came and delivered. So
nice.
We've got Corona press briefing update, Corona killers, the rise of AI, magic mushrooms, and a lot more crazy shit than that. So we'll get going today with the White House press briefing from Monday. Guys,
is it over?
It was like 2 hours long, I think. I didn't get the total time, but it is now over. It was like
dancing. It was like Dancing with Wolves, the director's cut.
Exactly. It was a really long one. I forget what time it started exactly, but it lasted for 2 or 3 hours, something like that. So
it was dominating my Twitter live every time I got on Twitter. But I was doing other things, so I couldn't tune in. But Will, I heard that it kind of turned into a little bit of something different than maybe just a COVID update situation?
Well, I mean, it was all around COVID update, but here's the top trends on Twitter at the time it was wrapping up. Okay, so the number one trend was OMG Trump, and then the other trends were total authority, which is a quote from the press conference, hashtag Trump meltdown, and the Hatch Act. So you can really see what most of Twitter's political leanings are by those trending, names there. But in case you missed it, the White House press briefing on Monday kicked off with a bang. I had it on mute for the first couple of minutes, but immediately Twitter was flooded with clips of Dr. Fauci clarifying his comments. I don't know if you guys heard about this. He hypothetically said, well, of course, if you had started the lockdown earlier, you would have saved more lives. He said that over the weekend, right? Well, then at today's press briefing, Monday's press briefing, Trump brought Fauci out very first to clarify that he meant hypothetically only, and that America shut down appropriately given all of the variables that the president had to weigh. And then
it was one of those hypotheticals, like had the disease never started, more lives could have been
and
saved.
Fauci said that over the weekend.
Fauci said it like on a different interview. He does a lot of press, yeah.
It was like a scenario where like you were an elementary school kid and you told your teacher that your dad was beating you, but then your dad didn't like that. So your dad made you
and Pat,
get in front of the teacher and be like, tell him you weren't beating me, right?
Pat, that's actually not what happened. And had you asked him that question, he would have given you the death stare he gave the reporter that insinuated that, who said... She insinuated that he was being coerced into making that statement.
Right.
And he said, basically, don't ever say that to me ever again, gave her the death stare. So, no, Pat. Fauci actually shut that one down, too. So after that, obviously, that started a huge back and forth between Trump and the reporters. Basically, all the lefty journos trying to say, how could you be sure that you did everything right? And then Trump replying, well, I've done everything right, obviously. It's just a classic Monday in D.C. And then, guys, Trump pulled out the slideshow. President Trump presented a slideshow, video PowerPoint style, basically of media clippings spliced with a timeline of his own actions during the coronavirus, of shutting down travel to China, Europe, blah, 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 national emergency declaration. And essentially the video just trolled Fox News and the New York Times. And
the guy loves graphs. He loves graphics.
It was like why you should fuck me, like slideshow to a woman. Like,
and in fact, this wasn't even graphs. It was more what Mark's talking about. It's just like pictures of himself making good decisions.
My COVID vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
what was in there?
What was in there was just his timeline. Basically, it was like clips of Fox News.
Dates and great things like shut down travel with China, March 3rd, I did this. Yeah.
Fox News not taking it seriously, and then him taking it seriously. And then at the end, New York Times reporter, like a recording of her, it basically admitting that Trump had handled everything appropriately.
But he didn't have the date of when he called it a Democratic hoax, right? He left that date off, or no?
I mean, it wasn't in there. Again, he presented the slideshow.
Yes,
this apparently CNN was so offended that they cut the feed during the slideshow, even though none of their video was included.
You gotta have both sides there. If you have a slideshow, you gotta have the part where you call it a hoax, and then the part where you
I'm sure you're the president.
Right. I'm sure he was going to ask his staff to put that in. Anyways,
why would you make yourself look stupid at your own press conference?
Yeah. So CNN cut the feed, and now all the lefties are accusing Trump of violating the Hatch Act again for having Dan Scavino, who is a White House employee, cut a campaign video, which that's what this is alleging, and it definitely did have a campaign vibe, no doubt.
Sounds like it.
But I mean, are you kidding me? Because Scavino makes every video.
It ends. The last date on the slideshow is like election day. It's like it's just,
right.
It shows a silhouette.
November 3rd.
Yeah.
This is what Trump's been doing since day one. He doesn't know how to do it. Like this is what he thinks being president is. It's like is always running. So you can't. I mean, you can't expect anything different, right?
It's not surprising. No, it's not.
What's
the
Hatch Act? What's the Hatch Act, Will? I'm not
the Hatch Act is, I guess, it's like a campaign financing situation. Okay. You can't like use, I guess, your existing staff to do campaign ads.
Or public airtime, probably, to do something that's like a spin campaign.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So anyhow, after that whole thing about did your staff who cut the video, it devolved into more of a screaming match between Trump and the Big J's over total authority. Trump claimed that he had total authority over the states when it came to the coronavirus period, which is just not true because he's not like he's not President Xi of China. He's there's checks and balances, all that in America. So
also a good band name.
Yeah.
It's probably a punk band. Honestly, I almost guaranteed Total Authority was a band from the 80s. Exactly. So wait, he was saying he had total authority over the states, but there was the whole debacle of the governors not, like one governor doing a different thing than another governor. There was no organization. But he was saying he had total authority. That was the deal?
He's saying that whatever he says goes no matter what for all the states, which isn't, the truth. And then there was the saga of the retweet. Trump had quote tweeted something the night before that had Fire Fauci in it. And then the media really ran with that, suggesting that it was going to be some kind of a huge dust up between Fauci and Trump. And then he opened the press briefing by saying, okay, here's Fauci saying that you're wrong, and then here's this video I made to punk you. So pretty sure that initial tweet of him quote tweeting something with Fire Fauci in it was bait. Because he didn't say anything about the Fire Fauci part in the tweet. He just agreed with other stuff and promoted one American news network. And then he had Fauci come out. I think that basically what happened was that, like, the media tried to build up a lot of tension between Fauci and Trump.
Yes.
And it did not work this time.
But are you saying the thing he retweeted was a troll when you say bait?
No.
I'm saying that it had hashtag Fire Fauci in it, but he didn't. He just wanted that to be in there as like a make people think kind of thing.
Could be. He also just went on a heater during that. Like there was a lot of hashtags and a lot of things. Like there could have been a QAnon hashtag in there. You know what I mean? Like, and some of those got deleted, which we'll get to in the predicted segment.
I've personally seen like 6 Trump retweets where like right after, if you check the guy he retweeted, they're like, yes, got him. Like he's very susceptible to trolls trying to get him. Like
right, but in this scenario, Will's saying he might have trolled the media.
Right.
Yeah, I think in this case, it seemed like it was like a setup. Like the thing started. Fauci's on there with the "I'm backing my boss," and then all of a sudden you get a PowerPoint about how it
seems like he knew he wasn't going to fire Fauci, right? So like it was either kind of like a shot at Fauci saying like stay in your lane, or a troll at the media, or both. But it wasn't like he was going to fire Fauci.
No. Well, the left is rooting for a total implosion of this relationship. They're just fucking rooting against this guy in this time of this pandemic when it's a little weird, fucking annoying. It's a little shitty.
And that's what I think is this relationship wasn't going to, at least not yet, explode. It seems like maybe if things were to take a turn for the worse, there could be something, but not yet.
Yeah.
Misplayed hand in my estimation. The real news from the briefing was that New York continues to be the hardest hit area in the country by far, but signs are pointing to a nationwide level off. 80 million Americans are getting their stimulus checks by this Wednesday, so everybody get ready for that.
Heard that before. Checks in the mail.
Please.
I'm looking at Pelotons.
I'm checking my Chase account every fucking morning.
I tell people that all the time. Oh, it's gonna hit Wednesday. Just check it on Wednesday, and then
jet ski salesman, hot tub salesman, get ready. We've got medical supplies coming out of our eyeballs at this point, allegedly, and hopefully, if Americans keep being good at social distancing and washing our hands, we'll be reopening sometime relatively soon. I don't know when.
That would be nice. Yeah. Not to get too soapboxy or opinionated again, but back to the thing. It's like we've been saying, like, why are we complaining about coulda, woulda, shoulda back in January, February? Why are we wasting energy on that and this fire Fauci? Why aren't we fixing it? And then at the end, when everything's completely done, we go and we evaluate what punishment should be made to China, who fucked up and when. Why are we putting energy into coulda, woulda, shouldas? I don't understand.
Because the left would rather see the fucking country burn than Trump do a good job.
Well, and then people
I don't necessarily agree with that, Wes, but
that's the way it seems.
They're acting a little out of order.
It sucks to watch a leader who's self-absorbed, and he can't not be self-absorbed. And that's probably why they're attacking, because
everyone needs to chill out and just fix the problem. It seems like I don't know, but
you got to make news.
Both sides are acting ridiculous.
Yeah. It definitely was just like it was wild, and it's a very polarizing thing. People are going off the handle either way on the reaction to how that press briefing went. So it
was. They've been so boring until today.
Today was out of control. Yeah, Monday was out of control. So
damn.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was the press briefing, guys.
All right, guys.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, guys. It's officially happened. I told you this was coming, and this story I'm about to tell you is just the first of many. Mark my words. A man is accused of murdering his wife and blaming it on the coronavirus.
Yep. Finally happened.
Told you.
I'm surprised they found it this fast, honestly. I'm surprised one's coming out this quick.
Mm-hmm. Well, this guy wasn't very good, Pat. We'll get into it a little bit. I'm sure more details will come, but we're doing the story pretty early. 51-year-old David Anthony of Jupiter, Florida. That's right. It's a Florida man. I apologize. I didn't want to wait until Florida because based on last week and the fact that it's still locked down and everyone's going insane, I figured we'd be covered for Florida Man Friday if I went ahead and took this story a little bit early. We'll have plenty of Florida Man stories on Friday. But David Anthony has been charged with second-degree murder and kidnapping his wife, Gretchen, even though Gretchen's body has not been discovered. That's how much they believe he killed her.
Ooh. Is it second because Corona had a hand in it?
No, but that's pretty funny. You see, neighbors heard a blood-curdling scream, Pat, from the Anthony household a few weeks ago.
Just nothing new these days.
Right, but it was followed by, no, it hurts. And that was the last anyone ever heard of or saw of Gretchen.
That was not the fucking scream quote. That was the legit scream quote?
No, it hurts after the scream, after the blood-curdling scream. It hurts.
Really?
Essentially, she yelled, "You're murdering me," and the neighbor heard it.
What did the neighbor do? Did he call the cops? Or?
No, the neighbor didn't do much at all.
Oh my God!
The neighbor just waited for the cops to arrive.
Just turn the TV up louder.
The neighbor talked to the cops like a week later. Shortly after that, family members and friends of Gretchen started getting updates from Gretchen's phone that she was suffering from a severe case of coronavirus and was being treated, and things weren't going well. But the text messages were described as baffling and written in David in David Anthony's vocabulary and prose.
Yeah,
So he just killed her, took her phone, and was like, "Hey, Mom, I'm not doing good. Corona's really got me good."
Sign David. I mean, Gretchen.
She's speaking in the third person or first person, whatever. Gretchen isn't doing so well. Gretchen needs to take some time off.
And of course, that is me, Gretchen.
Yeah.
As a true crime fan, this is obviously something that's happened maybe in the last 8 years, where people have had the ability to communicate not verbally or visually with someone as the deceased, right? With texting,
Right.
But still, like we called it. It's like the number one reason people find out that someone is missing is because they don't show up to work, and no one's going to work right now.
Exactly. It's a good point, Pat. Usually technology fucks murderers, but the ability to then take the murderee's cell phone and act as them helps them.
That's a good point. Like, they say crime has gone down during coronavirus, but is it just because they don't know?
No, that's what I'm saying. There's going to be like thousands and thousands of bodies found. It's like every house is like a tomb. Jupiter, Florida, cops soon proved she had not been treated locally or made any like insurance claims or been to any hospitals for any treatment. So David was texting, "I'm at the hospital," and then the cops like found out, no, she definitely never went to any hospitals or doctor's offices. So then they found out maybe we should investigate David, who had just separated from Gretchen in February. And sounds like not so nice separation of the marriage, which is, again, not a good time to get in a divorce or separation during a quarantine.
No. Oh, man, could you imagine, like, going through that right now?
Sometimes you have to, like if you're married to David, a murderer. But
You might reignite
try to
love.
avoid that. Police eventually found.
I'll tell you what, it's a kid's dream scenario. If your parents are getting divorced, then quarantine kicks in, because then you got a real parent trap situation. You know, it's like they're going to be forced to fall in love again.
You can trick them into falling in love again. Yeah. Police eventually.
That would be the happy path.
Yeah, I might write that into a children's book.
Every kid is gonna think that, Pat. Police eventually found David in Las Cruces, New Mexico, nowhere near Florida, on March 31st. And police think he killed his wife back on March 21st, which it didn't say, but I'm assuming was the blood-curdling scream day. Yeah, he was charged with second-degree murder and kidnapping and is being held awaiting him being sent back to Palm Beach County. So he's getting extradited. So look, guys, everyone goes to sleep, ladies. I don't know how to make this more clear. Pretend you're in love with him one last time after he knocks you around. Maybe give him a sincere blowjob, and he will go to sleep. That's all I'm saying. Don't do anything crazy if he doesn't deserve it. But Travis County, for example, in Austin, Texas, just extended the lockdown to May 8th. Yesterday. I mean,
May 8th, huh? You guys just locking down.
Whole
another month.
Terrible news. Terrible news for Gretchen and her family, though. It's really, really sad. But again, abuse goes on both sides. But one thing I do know is that both sexes go to sleep.
It's true.
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's all. I mean, I'm not insinuating, not insinuating
Also,
anything.
What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take, if the tables were turned here, if you're Gretchen and you're murdering David, you're going to want to take David's insurance card. And you're going to want to go down to the closest underpass, and you're going to want to give it to a homeless person. See, then that homeless person will undoubtedly check in to a hospital under David's name.
Well, no, we
alibi.
We didn't say anything about murder. We're just saying people go to sleep, Pat.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. I missed that.
So, while
was
that
pretty
was
clearly murder.
While that was a terrible news story, here is a good news story, and the headline reads: "You make money off the news and buy happiness." You can do that, but that's pretty good, right? You can do that by simply going to www.predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20, creating an account in just minutes, and depositing at least $20 into that account, which will get you a free $20 in the house. No promo codes needed. Just go to that URL. Oh, and it's totally legal in all 50 states, and you can use your debit card or your credit card or your bank account. Easy peasy. So let's talk some bets. Bernie Sanders endorsed Joe Biden early Monday, guys, in what people thought would be the press conference of the day. First bet I'd like to talk about is who will win the Democratic nominee. And right now, Joe Biden's sitting at 85 cents a share. Yes, so that means you can make 15 cents a share. Yeah. Right?
Oh, my gosh.
You're welcome, right?
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, well, I mean, what could happen?
They're saying there's a 15% chance he becomes physically incapable of running. in the next 5 or 6 months.
Good chance his head falls off.
Yeah, exactly. Like 3 or 4 months probably because it's like.
It seems like such. 15% is high, right?
I would agree. That's what I'm saying. That's the best bet possible. Buy yes at 85 cents a share, make 15 cents a share. That's a winner. And also,
got to wait it out.
There's like 30,000 shares available, so like you can max bet that and get 850 shares, make $150. Anyways, also another bet is the @real Donald Trump tweet market, which ends tomorrow, April 15th at noon Eastern. That is a good one to keep an eye on. Follow the patterns. I'm not going to make a suggestion yet because, like Pat says, maybe stay up late tonight, like the night before, and see where it's at and make a play, about 10 to 12 hours or 8 hours before market end. It was definitely going to be B9 until there were some deletes on Monday, like the Fire Fauci was deleted and some other things.
Deletes, man.
So now it could go either way. So you have to know that, like, oh, it's trending, it's trending, but sometimes they go in and they scrub some of those tweets, and if it's deleted, boom, it goes away.
We get asked this all the time.
Yeah, but the Fire Fauci tweet's still up. Yeah.
Well, some tweets are. Yeah. Some tweets were deleted.
Guys, it's PiCount, PICOUNT.com. That's the one that kind of keeps track of the Twitter.
He unretweets stuff a lot, right? Because he finds out later somebody's like, "Hey, dude, that's like a white nationalist account."
Correct, or something, or whatever. Yeah, or
usually that's why.
That's an 8-year-old.
Something like that, right? Like along those lines.
So that counts as a delete.
That's a Russian national, Donald.
That would count as a delete. Well, it's a negative. So the tweet markets are a lot of fun. Just keep an eye on it. Not going to make a recommendation on that one. To play, and why not? You're not betting on sports. Go to www.predicted.org/promo/hardfactor20. Create a new account, deposit at least $20, and get that free $20.
Oh yeah,
hell yeah! All right, I got some good news for you guys. No, wait, this is bad news. I'm sorry, bad news.
Wow.
Not only is the economy toast and we're all losing our jobs, but it also appears that these jobs that we used to have might not even exist when we do bounce back, because as Elon Musk and Sarah Connor predicted, we're on the verge of critical mass when it comes to artificial intelligence.
You leaving your boy Yang out of that?
Man, Yang and I'm not going to talk about it. I'm really disappointed in him. I never thought I'd say this, guys.
Are you saying? Wait a minute. Are you saying that the automation is going to take some of those jobs?
Yeah, not some of them, Mark. All of them.
Wasn't that my conspiracy theory?
That was your conspiracy theory. It wasn't that out there, honestly. It was just kind of a theory.
Who published the article today verifying his conspiracy theory?
Well, a bunch of it's an amalgamation, but it's a magazine called Science Magazine, which I've been avoiding for multiple reasons my whole life.
Marv Horgy?
Yeah, it was Marv. But I will say this, guys, and I never thought I'd say this. It may be time to start stockpiling firearms. I'm talking big ones that can pierce through the cold stainless steel hearts of human-eating cyborgs.
You think like any gun you can get at the fucking Walmart's going to stop a robot?
I'm telling you.
Do they make steel-piercing bullets? Steel-piercing
bullets?
No.
Nets is all you need.
Nets. Right, Nets. Yeah, Nets is a better, going to be more effective against
and
wire mesh nets.
Nets and moats, because the water's probably bad for robots. Like tiny nets and moats.
Water.
Bro, they'll
That's what I was saying
jump that
before
moat.
too. Water bullets. Maybe just super soakers is how you do them.
There you go.
There you go.
No, they're going to think of that. They're going to, and they'll jump any fucking moat. They'll jump any obstacle you put in front of them. Obstacles aren't going to stop them.
Well, water's going to be a big problem for these guys. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right. Did you ever see that M. Night Shyamalan movie? According to Science Magazine, again, publication I try not to read, researchers have created software that borrows concepts from Darwinian evolution, including a quote survival of the fittest AI program that improved generation after generation without human input. The program replicates decades of AI research in a matter of days. So that's cool.
It's like Neo when he like is learning all the shit.
He knows Kung Fu, man.
He knew it quickly.
Instead of Kung Fu, it's the taste for human blood. So Kwok Lee, computer scientist at Google, developed a program called AutoML0 that could develop AI programs with zero human input. What the fuck? So Kwok Lee, stop it.
So what are these things?
He ruined the world. Yeah, he that guy.
They're just letting these things run rampant. They're just on the internet building themselves.
Yeah,
Yep.
They're giving them arms and shit like that, and fingers and.
And what are they learning? Like, are they reading news stories about how we're killing each other and destroying the earth with like carbon? Like, are they hating us? Like, I
know they're listening to Hard Factor.
Yeah.
That's
why I bought 5 cats. By the way, I know that at some point in my lifetime, AI is going to decide to either enslave us, kill us, or work with us, and I'm just hoping they like cats.
Or they like listening to the news.
Right.
Long shot bet, Mark. This robot bullshit is infesting every bit of human life, guys. Recently, researchers at Stanford developed a smart toilet that uses AI and an upward-facing camera to scan your, quote, anal print to check for disease. Boy, do I wish Chuck Berry was alive to see this one. You know what I mean?
Can you go over that again?
Well, essentially, Chuck Berry, that's what he did. He was getting anal pricks.
Yeah.
Years
like
ago,
ass,
bro.
ass eating season?
Oh, yeah. Chuck Berry, dude, he had fucking cameras. He had at a restaurant in Tennessee, and he had cameras right in the toilets. He liked a very specific angle, which essentially is what this AI toilet angle is right now.
That looks like Tammy.
Yeah, it sucks. We lost Chuck Berry last year. Or 2 years ago. Users are warned that they, quote, have to make peace with a camera that scans their anus, and I will not make peace with that. Analyzing people's shit is a time-tested job for weirdo doctors, and if they don't have that job, I guarantee they're going to put their weird fetish to work for bad and not for good. We're talking about taking jobs here. You can't take the job away from the guy that analyzes stool samples. It's a very specific and important thing. And you just don't want that guy out in the not having a job. You know what I mean? There is some cool shit that AI does do, like the guy who made an AI doppelganger of himself last week to get out of Zoom meetings. Did you guys see this?
That's awesome.
No.
Yeah, essentially he doesn't have to go to his...
It's like the recording tape that Arnold had in Last Action Hero for his wife.
Yes. Or Home Alone with the shower scene.
Yeah.
You filthy animals. But it's going to get out of hand. You guys need to stop it. Here's a simple analogy for all these assholes developing AI. It's like, you guys ever been in a work meeting with a large number of people and the meeting's already gone super long and you can tell it's kind of winding down, but you still have something relevant to say, and if you say it, it'll ignite a new topic in the meeting, but if you don't say it, the end of the meeting will be in sight. And I know it's tempting, and what you have to say is super important and will make you look really smart, but keep it to your fucking self. Stop saying it. That's the thing. You can create AI. That does not mean you should create AI. You're going to ruin it for fucking everyone.
Okay. I didn't follow you until the very end.
You will tomorrow when you listen back to the show and you're like,
Yes.
click.
So,
Tumblr.
but so AI is like the people that keep the party going that you want.
My thing is, you want to say something at the meeting. You have something to contribute, right? But if you don't say anything, the meeting will end, which would be better for everyone, right?
The meeting is AI, and the scientists are the guy that should shut his mouth.
Exactly.
I thought the meeting was the world.
Look, meetings suck. That's what we can. That's what we can agree
All right.
upon.
Yeah.
But just chill out, guys. Go fucking be good at video games or something. Stop making
what's the name
algorithms
of
that learn.
Yeah, what's the name of that dickhead again that created a program that like self-teaches the AI? That guy sucks.
So Kwok Lee.
Yeah, such a dick.
That's that.
All right, cool. Well, hopefully they don't kill us all. All right, you guys have taken magic mushrooms, right? Has everyone taken magic
Never
mushrooms?
have.
Never have. Okay. Mark, you? No?
No.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm just going to tell you a little story. The last and final time I took them was in Charlotte, North Carolina for a Radiohead concert, and I spent the first part of the concert incapacitated on the ground, begging people who were passing me for water. Then
a strong trip. You took a few that night.
Yeah, I took too much. Then once I was able to walk, I saw a flaming rocket ship in the sky while outside the amphitheater. Then I walked past security, my favorite song. Then my buddy pulled out his dick and shoved it in my face, taking the angry term "suck my dick, motherfucker" to the next level. He was pissed we had smoked a blunt without him, and Radiohead is what he lives for. So he was angry.
What?
Yeah, and I was making fun of him. And that was the last time I did magic mushrooms.
Don't smoke a blunt without that guy. Yeah.
That's a weird move, bro. That's a weird friend group. You said
It was weird.
Said Radiohead's his favorite band?
Yeah, yeah, and he was very upset, and I was making fun of him, and he drank a lot of whiskey, and yeah, that.
Most groups of friends whose absolute favorite band is Radiohead, though. Shit's gonna happen.
That is
His dick
just
terrible?
wild, though.
It was wild. Yeah. So that
his
was
dick was like a punishment to you sucking his
he's
dick.
like, you don't
said,
want to
"Suck
look at his dick.
Suck
Yeah,
my
you
dick,
knew he-
motherfucker!" And I was
he
sitting
knows-
down, and he shoved it in my face.
He knows Wes doesn't want to see that.
Yeah, I didn't want to see that.
Did he scare you into sucking it a bit?
No, I didn't suck it at all.
Wes thinks about it for a second.
Yeah, I didn't suck it at all.
Should I?
I
Do I need
promise.
to?
Are you sure, Wes? You saw a rocket ship in the sky like 10 minutes earlier.
Right. Yeah. So, but that was, magic
think he
mushrooms
sucked
and me
his dick.
don't get along. I've taken them like 4 times, half been terrible experience. However, some people swear by them. They love them. And neuroscientists in a new study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences are now saying that taking magic mushrooms, specifically the chemical inside them known as psilocybin, is the closest thing you can get to a brain reset, because the chemical actually reshapes cells in the brain and can be very beneficial with treating addiction and depression, according to new studies.
Some people are going to need that after quarantine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, people are going to try anything after quarantine.
Brain reset?
Yeah.
I felt that on acid, a brain reset. That's what I felt acid was to me. Like last time I dropped acid, like I went on a run the next day.
That's a brain massage.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
any hallucinogen can be like help you reset, I guess.
Yeah.
But too much of it could definitely like push you out the other direction, though.
Well, yeah, it can lead to early onset. It's early onset schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. So people that like may have a psychotic break where they become schizophrenic later in their lives, it can make that happen earlier or make it happen, although it wouldn't have happened at all.
Right.
Right. Like if you compare it to actual video games, like with that, like brain reset could be, you restart the same level, or it could be like you went from Mario 1 to Mario 2, which is a really weird game.
Yeah, it wasn't even a Mario game.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Mario Brothers 2. Whew.
I think it was designed as a totally different game, and then Mario 1 was so successful.
They slapped Mario on it.
You had fucking dinosaurs shooting eggs out of their mouths at you.
Yeah.
Well,
you're digging for keys. It was weird.
What was that shit? You could fly all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Well, so anyway, it like you guys saying, it can either make you just crazy or it can actually help you. It can unlock, the full potential of your brain, is what they're saying. So in layman's terms, mushrooms could help your brain create a larger network of cells working together more efficiently, therefore unlocking more brain power. The way the article explained it is perfect. Basically, certain neurotransmitters in the brain take the same paths over and over to get to places in the brain, like a highway of cars traveling inside the brain. But on mushrooms, those networks are destabilized and the transmitters may take, back roads, as they called it in the article, which create like the psychedelic feeling of happiness by mimicking serotonin. The body's like happy chemical. Not enough serotonin, you get depressed and anxious. So by reshaping the cells and the directions the neurotransmitters travel, it can treat your currently shitty way of thinking. And as the article puts it, quote, the trick is figuring out what tools the brain needs to run different types of software on that hardware. So that's kind of where they're going with the...
That makes complete sense to me. I 100% totally buy that. I 100% buy that.
Yeah. I mean, you can rewire your fucking brain, and that's what they're studying.
Study it up. Keep it going.
Right.
I have so many mushrooms in my drawer next to my bed.
I volunteer myself as a test. I've passed up on mushrooms so many times just because I'm a thinker.
Yeah, I don't think mushrooms would be good for you, Mark.
You just don't need. You just can't take too many. It's a very volume based thing.
Yeah,
it is.
I like weed. I'm an uppers guy as well, but I'm a little bit worried about the overthinking it.
I think you'd have a terrible time on mushrooms.
I mean, anybody can have a bad trip on any hallucinogen.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is, strong, weak.
Yeah, but you ever hear Mark tell a really detailed story?
Yeah. So the article went on to talk about neurotransmitters needing to be present and this and that, and very confusing and above my level of understanding at the moment. But one thing I did learn that could be beneficial to anyone out there suffering from depression or sad or quarantine depression, you can't just take serotonin. Serotonin is very important, but the amino acid tryptophan, which you can take in pill form, is converted to turkey, high protein, is converted to serotonin inside the brain. So just be sure to eat some carbs to get the max brain absorption. Also exercise, bright light, and last resort, you can try eating mushrooms until you are either insane or cured. For me, the insanity would surely come first, but give it a go if it's the last resort. And hopefully science will get that perfect level, as McAfee was talking about with whatever the crazy bath salt drug he was talking about.
Mystery drug.
Sharik,
MDVP, psycho, eat your face drug.
Quick recap: we've suggested murder, buying an arsenal, and drugging yourself.
Psychedelic mushrooms. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, lockdown gets dark. Like
it does. It does.
It's just the way it goes.
Oh boy.
Well, it's always darkest before the dawn, guys. Don't worry.
That's right. Was that it, Wes?
That's it. That's okay. It. I don't recommend mushrooms, but
Do you guys want to take it over to the lightning round?
Yes.
Will should be our spiritual guide on this trip. So next time
agree.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do mushrooms with you guys. No, just doing mushrooms.
The lightning round and mushrooms.
So it's been a while, but let's do the lightning round. So guys, Well, animals are still bebopping and scotting all over the place while the humans are in their man-made walls. That's right. The three-toed skink is giving birth 2 ways like she's a chef, and now zebras are fucking donkeys and creating the rare and adorable zonkey. Because why not? No one's hunting them, right? Might as well. This zonkey is located in Kenya, and it's getting ridiculous, guys. I've got cat scratches head to toe, and have left my house like 3 times in the past month for a total of 3 hours. And there's zebras fucking donkeys.
Yeah. Oh, well, aren't zebras kind of donkeys though themselves?
I don't know. I'm just saying the
Less
animals.
fashionable
Animals are
donkeys.
having a much better time. I'm definitely
more
gonna.
fashionable. Yeah.
I'm gonna pick up hunting when this is over.
And seeing all the animals frolic is making you want to shoot
pissing
them?
me off. I've become immune to dust and very immune to the sun.
It'd be a great mascot for like the city of New Orleans, like a women's soccer team, the Zonkeys. All right, guys, the Vietnamese government has taken a unique approach to helping out its citizens affected by the pause in Vietnam and the world's economy. Similar to America's stimulus check, businessmen and donors in Vietnam have set up free ATMs around the country.
That's nice.
But the Vietnamese people aren't getting fat loads of dong. That's their currency. From the machines. No, these ATMs are dispensing rice, which is kind of racist if you think about it. The machines dispense about 4.5 pounds of rice to each resident free of charge per day. They operate between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. each day, and one can only assume that even the most... Yeah, it's pretty good, right? Rice is nice.
4 pounds. Damn.
It's a lot, right? But they got good metabolisms over there.
How big are these ATMs? I mean, that's a lot of rice it's housing.
Mm-hmm. They're like rain catchers. You know those big ass rain catchers?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a feeder stand.
Yeah,
like
it doesn't look.
deer
It's
feeder.
Like ATM is a loose
I would
term.
take some like double cheeseburgers shooting out of an ATM. Right?
That's a full-time job.
Yeah. Well, guys, one can assume that even the most careful recipient of the rice can't catch all the grains, which leads me to believe that there's likely a sea of exploded birds around the machines, which, depending on how you look at it, is either creating a well-balanced meal or a whole new public health crisis. Let's take it to the internet real quick. Master Chief says, Vietnam is winning over America for a second time. A comment I do not like, but it got 100 likes. Fuck you, Master Chief.
Well, I mean, that's technically we didn't win that one, right? So
Yeah, but you got to rub it in. Come on.
Yeah, it's called a draw.
Vietnam, that's what we said. Like, that's like trying to go fight West Virginia in the West Virginia mountains. Like, you're going to lose that battle.
And you're going to get butt fucked. Did you see Deliverance? Wes.
No.
All right, guys, just out of curiosity, if you were given the opportunity to go up in a fighter jet and get tossed around by a pilot, would you do it?
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Like
second part?
F-16.
Like doing the twirls?
Yeah,
Like be in the back.
be in
Or
the
like
back.
having sex with the fighter pilot.
No, not
probably
having sex.
puke on yourself.
Yeah. Passenger. Yeah,
Right.
I'd do it.
Okay, yeah. So I know I would. And what's the one thing that you would try to not do above all else?
Throw up.
Right.
Puke on
exact-
yourself. I think
exactly.
you'd puke on yourself for sure.
Exactly.
Any
That's
of us
right.
would.
That's right. Puke. Nothing else would be on my mind. Just don't puke inside this $1 million plane. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. Just don't puke. However, one Frenchman should have added just don't eject myself in a panic to his list of don't do's, because that's exactly what he did. So his 64-year-old man, who they are kindly not naming, was a businessman. He was surprised by his coworkers with this opportunity of a lifetime to go up in a Dassault Rafale B jet, top speed of almost 900 miles an hour. So it's a fucking fighter jet. And this poor bastard never said to his coworkers, "It's been a lifelong dream of mine to go up in a jet," or he didn't. Not anything like that. They just
assumed.
They just assumed this would be great. They just popped the shit on him one day, and once they got to the airfield, they realized it was a mistake because the man began to basically freak out and have an anxiety attack.
You know who love this? Is Pierre. Pierre would love this. We
Right.
should throw Pierre up in this fucking jet.
Yeah.
I forgot
why-
to tell you,
was-
my parents were killed by fighter jets.
Wait, so it wasn't a situation where was he like a Vietnam War pilot or like a World War II?
no affiliation with jets.
Why the fuck is there an eject button in the passenger seat in the ride seat?
Well, because sometimes shit happens and you need it. But yeah, so
He found it, Pat. It's not easy to find, but he found it.
You gotta have child safety locks or something, man.
Yeah. Well, he was also apparently wearing a smartwatch, and they tracked his heart rate at 136 to 142 beats a minute before he even got on a plane, and they still let him go up in the fucking plane. And that heart rate is called tachycardia and can result in stroke and sudden cardiac arrest. But I guess,
Jesus.
Yeah.
His heart was trying to eject before the flight.
Oh yeah, it's like, can you see my watch? I guess he wasn't trying to, not look like a pussy or ruin the fun. So they take off. And as the plane is climbing, this guy's anxiety just keeps rising. So he grabs onto something as a natural reaction, and it's the ejector level, and he ejects himself into the sky at 2,500 feet. His helmet goes flying because it wasn't on right. So now he's just floating in the sky attached to this seat, no helmet. And when he landed, they hauled his ass to the hospital, and they probably stood around saying, "I knew we shouldn't have let them go into the plane."
Yeah, well, didn't that fuck the plane up too? Because doesn't that like?
Oh yeah,
there's all kinds of stuff with the ejection going off, right?
The thing pops off. The pilot got like lacerations to his face.
At a minimum, you need a new roof and a new seat, Will.
The pilot is so upset
I
about
hope
this
that
whole
guy
thing.
doesn't have
seatbelt.
children, because you don't want to be that guy's children.
So
that
this
time.
seat like has a built-in parachute.
Yeah, all fighter
Yeah, all
jet.
of them do.
Yeah. So
That's pretty good. I think I'd rather eject myself. But like
He just ejected himself out of his marriage.
Like,
That's what he did. He's married.
do both. Like, go get tossed around a little bit, then eject yourself.
well, that's
You're
how
gonna have to
Goose
quit that
dies. That's how Goose dies in Top Gun, right? He ejects
Well, he
himself.
hit his head,
hits
he
the
hit
head.
Into the thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that.
But roofs now are probably like plexiglass, where they come off quicker. Or
Yeah,
something.
hopefully.
Yeah, they've
but
definitely improved them, I'm
what
sure.
a horrible day for that guy, huh? And that's going to do it for Hard Factor. Remember, our voicemail is 512-270-1480. If you have been listening to the show for a while, please check out the Free Joe Exotic shirt, or the Shades shirt, and of course the Lockdown Turn-Up shirt that is for charity. Keep those reviews
Which
coming.
we're trying
we love
to
them.
get smaller sizes back in stock.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll get them.
we're
We'll get them.
trying.
It's the supply chains are a little fucked right now, as you can imagine. So we'll do our best. Keep those
If we
reviews
can't
coming.
get you those, we'll get you 3 pounds of rice.
Right. Yeah. As you learned yesterday, we will read any review as long as they are 5 stars. Be sure to check out John McAfee's interview and clips we've been dropping. Just an amazing interview from a true wild man. We will have a boat race video up before the end of the week. Everyone who participated in that, thank you again. Tell a friend, share on social media. We appreciate you guys, and most importantly, have a great fucking day.